Hello everyone, and welcome to my Days of Our Lives official. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. When someone kept ringing the doorbell at the DiMera home, Abigail hurried into the foyer and was shocked to realize it was Xander. "Took you long enough," Xander complained as he avoided Abigail, seeking shelter from the weather. "You don't have anyone to answer the door around here?" Xander shivered in wonder. Abigail explained, "It just so happens to be Harold's morning off," but then added that nobody was ever waiting for unexpected guests just outside the front door. "I didn't want to waste any time after I got your message." Xander shrugged and explained. Xander pleaded to hear all that Abigail had discovered regarding Sarah's means of leaving Salem. "I went to the DiMera travel department to see when the jet was last used for non-DiMera business, but it wasn't." Abigail started to elaborate. "You have a lead there?" "What is a lead?" Xander objected. "We have more than one jet. The company keeps several older models as a part of their fleet that can be reserved for personal use, and, apparently, one of them was used for non-official business around the time that Sarah disappeared, but the pilot's gone." Abigail made an effort to explain. "The pilot's dead?" Xander sputtered. "No, he's not dead. He just quit, and, apparently, not that long after the non-official flight, possibly transporting Sarah to God knows where," Abigail was able to say. Xander whispered, "Well, that's not suspicious at all. Let's hop online and track him down." Xander pleaded. "Oh, yeah, him, and everybody else that's got the same name," Abigail said. "Well, how do you suggest we track him down?" Xander shot back. "I'm gonna go back to the DiMera travel department and see if he left any contact information," Abigail said. "Then why do you need me?" Xander pondered. "I don't," Abigail demanded. "You called me." Xander was anxious. "To update you, but it was your big idea to show up here," Abigail clarified. In order to avoid delaying the next stage of Abigail's research, Xander quickly left after acknowledging the point. The journey wasn't a complete waste because Chad was still there, but Abigail was unhappy to find that everyone in the travel department was in the middle of a conference when she arrived at DiMera Enterprises. "Granger, Ned?" "Yes, until this spring. He had been here for years." Chad remembered. "Know why he left?" Abigail pondered. After saying farewell to Abigail, Chad hurried off to the courthouse. "I don't, but it was pretty sudden, if I remember correctly, and, now that I think of it, it was a headache for payroll. Granger's last check was returned, and they were never able to track him down," he said. Abigail teasingly said, "Aw, look at you, all excited to bury your brother." "Yeah, I'm starting to think that he might be innocent," said Chad. "You have hard evidence that EJ is guilty as charged." Before comprehending that Chad was about to take the stand and lie under oath, Abigail started to object. Chad attempted to clarify, "I didn't say that," but Abigail wasn't persuaded. Since Chad and Abigail were already running late for the trial, they had no time to talk about the issue anymore. Chad protested, "You don't have to go just for me. I'm not the reporter I assigned to the trial is sick, so I'm covering it," Abigail replied. No one had brought up Belle's representation of EJ, Trask complained at the courthouse. "Oh, you were actually misinformed about a number of things." In order to placate Trask, Belle shrugged in response and then urged EJ to formally accept the offer of assistance. "This is hardly standard procedure." After pointing out that DiMera Enterprises board members had been attempting to disassociate the corporation from the case in recent days, Trask, who was reportedly still not satisfied, wondered how they would react to Belle's choice to represent EJ. Belle told Trask, "I think you should be focusing on coming up with a new strategy, because you're gonna need it," while EJ grinned. With a groan, Trask turned away, and EJ took advantage of the moment to yank Belle away so they could speak alone. "Not that I don't appreciate this, but, just the other day, you went on and on about not wanting to represent me, yet here you are. So, what made you change your mind?" EJ pondered. "The answer was Nicole Walker," Belle said. "Nicole stood up for me?" EJ sputtered. "Yeah, but she still hates your guts, and that's pretty much a quote," Belle explained. "And I don't blame her, but I'm grateful that she convinced you to do the right thing," said EJ. Defending me will, in all probability, risk your position as general counsel at DiMera, acknowledged EJ. With a firm I can handle the board, Bell continued. And what about your other concern? EJ pondered. Bell replied, don't worry, I can handle Sammy, too, as Kirk Barnes, the judge, arrived in the courtroom. Like Bell and Trask, Barnes was taken aback when another decision was made, but he was happy to see that EJ had rejected the idea of self-representation. Have I heard you right? You give up your right to a trial by jury? Barnes sputtered. I do, Your Honor, verified EJ. May I have a moment to confer with my client? Bell interrupted. It would certainly help if the defendant and his counsel were on the same page, so. Barnes concurred. Bell drew EJ aside for another private discussion, and Trask grinned. What are you doing in hell? Since you are the client and I am the lawyer, please sit quietly and allow me to perform my job. Bell lost her temper. Thinking, just saving us a lot of time. EJ, you are an attorney, you know full well it is harder to sway a judge than a jury. Bell argued. I think he'll be fair, and I'm feeling lucky, and I'm innocent, and I trust the system, remarked EJ. Oh, please, you have no faith in anything or anyone. What do you suppose you're going to do, then? See the judge? Or have you already? Bell shot back. I just think Barnes seems like a reasonable person and, given the details of this case, I certainly trust someone who has passed the bar, more than the hoi polloi of this town who would love nothing more than to bring down a 1%er, EJ continued. Oh, God, do you know how arrogant you sound? Bell complained. I'm simply speaking the truth. EJ said. Okay, well, then, do us all a favor and stop speaking, Bell said. Bell threatened, we are going to run this defense my way or I'm out. After giving it some thought, EJ said, I am very grateful to have you on my side, Bell, so, I will leave my fate in your very capable hands. Right before Barnes came back, Trask objected to Bell's request for a day to catch up on EJ's case, and Barnes concurred that there was no valid basis to postpone the proceedings. At that moment, Chad and Abigail walked into the courtroom. There's something I want you to know before I testify, Chad told Abigail, but Barnes cut him off at that moment, prepared to resume the trial. Rafe told Sean about the internal affairs probe while they were at the police station. I have never had one complaint against me and now I've got two in the same damn day. Rafe complained. You're sure these guys don't know each other? Sean guessed. Right now, I'm not sure of anything. Rafe answered. Maybe they ran into each other, and they realized they have something in common, a desire, to punish you for whatever reason, and they, you know, decided they would, I don't know, help each other out. Sean recommended. Sean went on, or, someone put them up to it. When Ava and Gwen realized each other wasn't a stranger, they both backed down after colliding and then launching a coordinated attack at the Horton Town Square. Bad day? After Ava made a guess, Gwen began to rant about Xander and Abigail working together to find Sarah. Abigail says, this has nothing to do with me, but I don't buy that for a single minute, because I've seen her dark side, you know, how she revels in payback, Gwen ended up saying. Ava confessed, well, that's something we have in common, because I am reveling in payback myself right now, before explaining to Gwen the consequences of Rafe's adultery. You want to send the man that you say that you love to prison? Gwen said it again. Oh, it's already underway. See, I know several gentlemen who are just wrongly imprisoned, and I might have persuaded them to submit a report alleging that a particular commissioner had planted evidence against them. But, please, this is between us only. Regarding it, I need you to remain silent. Ava attested.